In this corner, Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And in this corner, Mario? Both are played by Chris Pratt. Both of them are the stars of big 2023 movies, and both are available right now. Which blockbuster character is the best bang for your buck? Place your bets for this Mario vs. Marvel melee. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube rigmarole. Starting off with the packaging, and Mario comes in a window box. So for packaging, this round goes to Mario. Okay, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Since we have seen a lot of these before, I'm going to start with Star-Lord, Guardians 3 movie logo down here, digital render of Peter here, Guardians badge up top, and note that the Legends in Marvel Legends has been changed from white to gold. The build-away for the series is Cosmo. There's a digital render of her on the side, key art of Quill on the other side, and another picture of him on the back. As previously stated, Mario comes in a window box. Logo here, Mario on the corner, picture of Mario on one side, and a more line them up for display picture on the other. And then on the back we get another picture of Mario along with a list of his features, some of which I can't wait to talk about. It really feels like this box is attempting to be classy, something more in line with Mafex. Similar to the Indiana Jones figure I just looked at, I love how Mario and the power-ups are all spot varnished to stand out, and as colorful as this is, it feels like more thought went into this. For packaging, this round really does go to Mario. Moving on to presentation, you might think it's unfair to compare these two, but they have more in common than you might think. Mario has a mustache, Star-Lord has a mustache, Mario has a strappy red and blue costume, Star-Lord has a strappy red and blue costume, Mario has creepy concave eyes that follow you around like a possessed doll, and nope, I guess that one's just Mario. But I get ahead of myself. First things first, Mario stands at 5 inches, Star-Lord stands at 6 1/4. Now, getting back to the eyes. Your mileage may vary, but I don't really care for them. Especially at angles like this, it looks kind of dark and shadowy. I also just don't know how I feel about Mario looking at me like he knows all my secrets. Mamma mia! That said, I really like the matte finish plastic that they used for his skin. They also added a bit of paint to the nose to give it some realistic rosiness. Admit it though, I'm jibber-jabbering and all you're looking at are them eyes. The main thing that separates movie Mario from his video game counterpart is extraneous stitching. We see that in the patch for his initial, and also throughout the overalls. The biggest difference is that he's wearing a collared shirt. It's a minor enough change that I don't really mind it, but I'd also be a liar if I said it didn't feel a little bit unnecessary. I like the more realistic gold buttons instead of the bright yellow, and I was very impressed to see that they stamped them into the sides of the pockets. On that note, they even painted his shoelaces and rings. That's in addition to painting the soles of his shoes and giving him tread. Altogether, that's a lot of attention to detail for a figure that probably didn't need it. And on the subject of detail, that brings us to Star-Lord. The face printing technology has come a long way and doesn't have that glossy look it often has. He's got that gold badge in the middle. Yet another surprising connection to Mario. Although I don't have any Star-Lord figures to compare him to, I do know that the arms are reuse. The pin joints are the first giveaway. I do like how this looks, but because of the reuse, I can't help but wonder if it diverges a bit from how the actual suit looks in the movie. The torso, of course, is new and... wait a minute. That collar. That almost Mario-like collar. Mamma mia! Nice job on the belt and buckle. Also, like the arms, the pants are reuse. I can't speak to the boots, however. One thing I can say, though, is that there's a lot of little fasteners here, and I can't help but notice that Mario had no problem painting those, whereas this one probably could have benefited from that. On that note, flipping them around, there aren't really that many paint applications back here. Jakks Pacific has done a fantastic job of translating movie Mario to action figure form. But despite some reused parts, it cannot compare to the level of sculpted and painted detail of this. For presentation, this round goes to Star-Lord. Moving on to posability, and while I think we all know where this is going to go, Mario is worth talking about. From the top, and his head's in a ball joint. Unfortunately, he can't get any up and down, but he can stare at you with his peripheral vision. No real tilt either, but side to side's no trouble. Moving down though, and look at just how high his arm can raise. Compare that to Star-Lord, and he barely gets 45 degrees. Star-Lord does, however, get bicep swivel. Not gonna lie, breaking up that little red bit really annoys me. Mario doesn't have bicep swivel because he has short, stubby little arms. And whereas Star-Lord has double jointed elbows, Mario has a two-sided swivel ball. It gives the illusion of being double jointed, but it really is only a single. That said, it does provide swivel at the forearm. All the way down the arm, and Star-Lord has swivel hinge wrists. Mario has ball jointed wrists. They don't get much, but they can jiggle a bit, and of course swivel. At this point you might be wondering, okay Jason, why do we have to talk about Mario's articulation so bad? The middle. In box I thought he had a solid torso, but once I got him in hand I discovered he actually has a ball jointed torso. This allows him to float around a little bit, and also twist. That really surprised me. I have to admit it's really well integrated into the sculpt. Star-Lord, of course, has an ab crunch and a waist swivel. He can arch back this far, and hunch forward this far, and of course twist. Below the waist in both figures have ball-jointed hips. Mario can kick forward this far, and split this far. Star-Lord, on the other hand, can kick 90 degrees, and split this far. Both Mario and Star-Lord have thigh cut, but whereas Star-Lord has double-jointed knees, Mario understandably only has single. Star-Lord has boot cut rotation, and ankles that can hinge and pivot, but Mario has ball-jointed feet that allow them to swivel, hinge, and not so much pivot, but rock side to side. What Jakks Pacific has accomplished at this scale is very remarkable, but even I can't pretend it's a contest. For posability, this round easily goes to Star-Lord. Moving on to playability, and that's where things get weird. Mario has only one accessory, which is his trusty plunger. Quill, by contrast, has two accessories, namely his trusty blasters, though technically those are two copies of the same accessory. And that's it. Even without a Build-A-Figure piece, some alternate fists, or maybe some blast effects would have been something. With the Mario movie not only being a new line, but also the first Jakks Pacific figure I've ever reviewed, I didn't really have any expectations for this, but for a Marvel Legend, I've definitely come to expect more. That said, despite only having a plunger, I'd argue that movie Mario has some secret value you might not realize. Now, I know this is the kind of thing I would normally say for the comparison section, but I think it would behoove us to bring out a regular Jakks Pacific Mario. The first thing you'll notice is the height difference. Why, it's almost like this is Mario, and then this is Super Mario after eating a mushroom. It's that disparity in size that actually makes this figure an interesting complement to your other Jakks Pacific Marios. Just look at basic Mario alongside a basic Goomba and a basic Shy Guy. Now look at the movie version. If you're okay with minor details being a bit different between the game and the movie, then the movie version becomes a great Super Mario along with some affordable enemies. But playability is more than just complaining about accessories or looking at a couple of key comparisons. We have a lot of other figures to look at. Starting with Mario, and we've already seen the Jakks Pacific Basic, but there's no harm in taking a look at it again. Here's the Jakks Pacific Goomba, and once again the Jakks Pacific Basic Shy Guy. For the rest of my Mario collection, however, and here we have an old Super Mario Bros. 3 Koopa Paratroopa Happy Meal toy, and a Bob-omb that I'm honestly not entirely sure where it came from. If you happen to know, sound off in the comments. One thing that a lot of you might not know is that in 1999, Toy Biz made a series of Mario Kart action figures. Here we have Mario, his brother Luigi, Yoshi, who I've decided to put at a 3/4 turn, because straight on he is nothing but nose. Seriously, how does he see over that honker? Here's Bowser, who has very little articulation but some fantastic paint wash to bring out all those scales. And then lastly, here we have Wario. Switching over to Star-Lord, and I don't have any other Guardians, but I do have Ravager Thor from Thor, Love and Thunder. But for some Infinity War love, and here we have Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and his ward. I don't have the Iron Spider, so this one is from Far From Home. For some other Avengers though, and here we have Captain America from Endgame. I really don't feel like these two characters should be the same height. Here we have Black Panther. Here we have the 2-pack version of Wanda. I got her loose and sadly don't have the Vision that goes with her. And here we have Captain Marvel. And yes, after reviewing this figure before giving one to my goddaughter, I got one of my very own. Luckily, this one was only $12 on sale. For a couple of larger characters, however, and here we have the Hulk, and a reminder of the scene where Star-Lord doomed everybody. All that said, there is one other Chris Pratt character we need to look at. Owen Grady from Jurassic World. Made by Mattel, he comes in a window box with cracked lava, Amber Collection logo in the corner, and a picture of him doing that famous hand thing on the back. He actually stands at slightly over 6.5 inches, and despite not benefiting from any face printing technology, doesn't look half bad. That is until you realize they forgot to paint half of his belt. Articulation-wise, he doesn't have bicep swivel or double double-jointed elbows, but he does have pinless double-jointed knees. Accessory-wise, he comes with an Amber Collection base, which against my turquoise background looks pretty cool. He also has a knife, which can fit neither one of his accessory-holding hands, but since this is Owen, he comes with alternate open hands, so he can do that open hand Owen thing. Easy, you two. I'm gonna clean your pipes. As we can see, he's the tallest of the Chris Pratts, but for those hoping for a head swap, sadly, the neck joints on these Chris's are incompatible. For a relative scale comparison, here's Mario and Star-Lord with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. Hands down, this is the best Chris Pratt likeness we've gotten, and a definite upgrade to any other Star-Lord figures you might happen to have. But with this being the final Guardians of the Galaxy movie with this cast, it's the only time you're really going to be able to enjoy this costume. And of course, that's to say nothing about the lack of accessories or build-a-figure pieces. Mario, by contrast, may only have one accessory, but he also has a bevy of other figures from both the movie line and basic series to mix and match with. For playability, this round goes to Mario. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. With basic Mario figures only costing $10, why is this one $20? The first consideration is the packaging. The basic figures come on basic blister cards. Granted, they're colorful and fun, but the movie comes in a window box, which is more plastic for trays, more cardboard, and also fancy spot varnishing. Then there's the points of articulation. This Goomba, for instance, only has 3. Of course, other characters will have more. The basic Mario, for instance. But it's nothing compared to what the movie version has. The bigger question is, why is Star-Lord $25? More than half the figure's reuse, he comes with basically nothing, and he comes in the cheapest packaging possible. Although the only fight that really matters is at the box office. For price, this round goes to Mario, who wins this battle 3-2. Mario number 1! Which one of these movies are you more excited for, or if you've seen both, which one did you like better? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, check out one of these. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.